Okay, basically our project bids, my personal one is a public engagement activity involving marine litter. And I want to do group events with Paul and Becca, incorporating data quantification and marine biodiversity workshops. My event will include beach cleans, followed by workshops making visual representations of the damage that marine litter can do to marine species. For example, giant turtle made out of plastic bottles and fishing nets and stuff, eating a jellyfish made out of plastic bags. The beaches we've chosen spread from Kennock Sands to the Green Bank Hotel, and there's a range of different anthropogenic activities occurring along these different beaches. There's obviously the harbour, which we're going to do Green Bank Hotel, and then there's Gillen Bays, Prisk Cove, which is pretty rural, and then Kennock Sands, which is partially developed. At Kennock Sands, they do a beach clean with the MCS, and there's a campsite and dive school there, which I've spoken to about doing putting one of our displays there as a kind of reminder to tourists about the effect that their litter has on the area. And I want to involve art students, interested members of the public, National Diploma marine biology students. And I want to incorporate some questionnaires at the beginning and at the end of the events to kind of gauge how much we've kind of affected their attitudes and also their knowledge of the area.
My part of it, the combined team effort, is that I take part in a monthly beach clean within the Cornwall Wildlife Trust organisation in the Health of Voluntary Marine Conservation Area. Volunteers collect rubbish from about 7 sites, I think it is. My aim is to make the result of their efforts more scientific by collecting and collating the rubbish there, and possibly comparing it to the stuff that Daisy collects over this side, over in the farm. I have an email within this report which I can hand to you guys from Abby Crosby of the Wildlife Trust, showing that she felt it is completely possible for it to go ahead. So it'll be working closely with the Wildlife Trust as well. In my literature you can see that the marine litter around the British coastline has doubled between 1994 and 2010, and it's a worldwide problem. Journals show that the amount of marine rubbish you can expect to find is the same here as, say, Africa, the Caribbean, Australia, Japan. And most of it is plastic, causing wildlife enormous problems, as Daisy was saying. In '94, a report by BMT, which was commissioned by the Harbour Commissioners, entitled An Environmental Review of the Foul Estuary in the Port of Falmouth, states on the opening executive summary, litter is a problem in all areas where a large number of people and activities occur. It's not easily controlled, however, a programme needs to be developed which will seek to identify the main sources of litter and place suitable controls to reduce the amounts of on land and on the seabed. March '97, and the Strategic Guidelines final report, a Falmouth Bay and Estuaries Initiative, also promises under the Strategic Guidelines W1 that, quote, a duty of care should be encouraged outside the harbour areas with particular emphasis on the reduction of marine litter, which is why I think this is going to be quite apt.
Okay, my project is to do with public engagement and marine biodiversity. It's a massive branch of tourism as well, so it's got huge kind of economic and social benefits. Having a high biodiversity, but also actually engaging with the public and letting them know that we do have these amazing species here that they don't necessarily know about. I've given you all information packs. On page 2 I've got some journals and things talking about that. And also previous conservation initiatives that have tried to raise awareness of biodiversity. I've chosen to approach the project with 3 sort of key aims. Initially, I'm going to work with environmental groups such as Transition Falmouth and ones local to Falmouth to carry out transect biodiversity surveys. Secondly, which is the one that I've been working on most recently, is involving local youth organisations. I've been in contact with Scouts, Guides and Sea Cadets recently, and they've all said they'd be interested in doing biodiversity events with us, whether it be rock crawling or snorkelling, or even a guided tour around the maritime docks to raise awareness of what you guys sort of do. They're obviously age-targeted events, so the stuff that we would teach would be dependent on the age group we were gearing it at. As a test, as Daisy said earlier, we were planning on giving questionnaires before and after and basing how much they learned on the percentage that they got correct and the percentage different between the data. Finally, the publicity of the event. We'd like to do a press release for the Falmouth packet at each event, and we'd be including University of Falmouth photography students for that to actually take the photos. There's potential for actually making a short film as well using students from that college, but that's something we can look at later. But that's maybe. In terms of cost, each event would be a maximum of about £150, but it would be reduced by £115 if we were able to use the college minibuses, so it could be fairly cheap theoretically. The number of events I can organise is dependent on your funding. I've got possible groups that are interested up to about 10. However, it depends on how many you want us to do, kind of thing. And the Scouts have actually just an additional thing suggesting incorporating a marine identification badge into one of the events. Do you have any questions for us?
I do. How many events was it you were planning on running throughout the year as part of this campaign?
I think it's dependent. There's like two, I think for each of us we've got 2 definite events that we're thinking of holding. However, there's potential for, like, I know that I've got enough groups to add many more. It just depends on how many you guys want us to do, really.
Well, it would be depending. I mean, some of them, like Paul's ones, they're already existing events, so the costs for them would be a lot less than, for example, ones if me and Becca are organising ones with schools, they would be.
Have you thought, if you need some funds, have you thought to ask the councils and organisations like the commissioners, because they always have, for want of a better word, they have charity funds. You need to speak to both towns, the mayors, as you best bet, or the clerks actually, Kevin and Mark at Falmouth.
Can I get those full names so that I can pass it on to Becca?
You can. Kevin Williams is Falmouth.
Williams.
And no, Mark Williams is Falmouth. Beg your pardon.
Yeah, the insurance for all of the kids as well.
Kevin Paul is Penry.
In the insurance they already have, the insurance for the kids and
that's brilliant.
So it should be alright. And costings involve the refreshments and things as well. There's a sheet in one of your packs which shows the complete breakdown of the cost. Pretty sure it's on page 8.
We'd like to, for the longer days, if you're doing combining Becca's marine biodiversity with the litter picks, to have sort of barbecue in the middle of the day and keep people interested.
Sorry, can I just ask you on the funding side of it, are you thinking about particular aspects of the different bits of the funding, or are you thinking about the whole funding per se?
From one event,
you could, well, I mean, if you write to them, as is the way, we sit in these different boards, if a letter comes in, can we have so, you need to ask them for X amount and tell them what it's for. Because we'll sit there and pontificate, yeah, that's worthwhile, give them a check. But make sure it's like one side of A4, don't get carried away. Well, that's it. At the end of the thing, yeah, we want 500 quid, 200 quid, whatever it is.
Can I just ask you, Paul, I mean, I was quite surprised when you sort of said that we've doubled the litter since 1994. I must admit, my perception was that things might be slightly improving. Is there anywhere that's got a better track record in the UK, or is this just
it's worldwide.
Problem?
There's a journal, in actual fact, where they've taken studies in different parts of the world, and they've turned out to be the same percentage, near enough exactly the same percentage wherever you go across the world. So it's going to be the same here.
In order to address the problem, I mean, is it going to be a stronger approach to actually try to raise awareness of the people using the beaches, or are we trying to encourage people to actually clean as part of the culture that
again, within
society?
that report, it highlights the fact that a lot of the stuff that comes in ashore actually comes from large merchant vessels.
Really?
Well, no, not according to this.
No, there is stuff at the back of that that shows that there's merchant vessels that are...
Shipping is 1.8%.
Yeah, but there are other sides of that, journals at the back of that. That's the Marine Conservation Society.
So that's wrong?
I would go, whether that's shipping as per fishermen, because again, the report further back shows that fishermen, the fishing element isn't as big. Now, again, contrary to that, it shows here that yesterday a lot of that is fishing gear and stuff, and fishing lines come in.
Yeah, but that's tears, isn't it? That's nest that's torn off. A question for you. There are many organisations of people measuring litter today. Yeah? How many people were doing it in '94?
Well, that I don't know.
So how big was the sample? So how accurate?
That would have to be approached with the Marine Conservation Society because their figures.
I'm worried sometimes, it's...
Is it there because we're measuring it better?
It's there, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we're obviously measuring it, but more of us are measuring it.
Yeah.
I mean, there are people doing degrees in it now. Yeah. They weren't in '94, were they? Well, weren't many.
Hopefully your project will give us a snapshot of where we are locally and a breakdown of where those sources are.
And if you look at the front picture within that report again, There's a picture there of Prisk, and that was just a few weeks ago, after about 4 or 5 weeks since the last beach clean, and that was 2 bagpools on the box and netting as well.
And what length of beach?
That was the whole length of Prisk.
I don't know. Brisk.
Oh, sorry, Prisk Cove.
How big is it?
A mile and a half
It's
long?
no, God no, it's not that far. I would say it's probably about,
200 metres?
no, about,
What direction? does it
between
face?
about 2/3 of a mile.
What direction does it face?
From here,
What direction does it face?
you're facing southerly. Yeah.
Does that have any bearing?
It's literally, yeah, in some
I hate to
respects.
rush you guys, but we're slightly over.
Sorry.
It captured our imagination. Thanks very
Right,
much.
thanks very much.
Becca. The project is public engagement with marine biodiversity. Went kind of alright, they seemed a bit interested. Yeah, I hope I get the funding for it. Then I have to work with those other kids. That's it. I've got a bit like that.
I'm Daisy. I was doing a public engagement bid about marine litter. I think it went okay, but I don't know, it kind of blinked and it was done, so that's all good.
Yeah, we